Well, a federal judge denies a request to dismiss a lawsuit against a high-profile Illinois volleyball coach, which we've been following here at First Coast News for a while. A Jacksonville woman, Powers Barnhard, is one of several women who accused Rick Butler of sexual abuse. The federal lawsuit was filed by the mother of one of Butler's former players. It alleges Butler used his position to sexually abuse at least 6 underage girls. He, his wife, and his volleyball club are all named as defendants in the suit. It alleges they pressured his victims to remain silent and failed to fully disclose his conduct. The Butlers adamantly deny the allegations.